Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about an FBI informant, or rather, the failure of an FBI informant. It seemed that the FBI decided they needed desperately to infiltrate a mosque. So, they found a criminal who they could then convince to infiltrate the mosque. Who did. And after being there for a while, and not coming up with any leads that would lead to investigations, the informant began to agitate within the mosque. In fact, the informant began to agitate his fellow parishioners, or mosque goers. I actually don't know what the proper term would be. So much that they filed charges against him and got a restraining order, which is when they discovered that he was an FBI informant. That's a failure, folks. You not only can't find the information, but you so piss off the people that you were supposed to be spying on that they kick you out of their organization. That's not a good informant, folks. That's pretty much the opposite of the word inform. But this is a sign that the FBI is doing things which I consider questionable. This is not great intelligence gathering. Intelligence gathering is just that, intelligence gathering. I think it is a good sign that law-abiding Muslims will turn in people who are raving nutbags, such as their quote-unquote informant. And I also think it's a good reason that the intelligence community here in America needs to have a bipartisan, independent oversight committee, one that isn't going to be sucking up to any particular political credo. Because we need to hold the intelligence community to a much higher standard than we do ordinary law enforcement, because they do so much of their work behind closed doors, with budgets that nobody ever really sees. So we need to make sure that they are not bending or breaking the law, such as paying someone to agitate people in the hopes that they will commit a crime and then they can be arrested for. And speaking of paying, this guy worked for the United States government for me, out of my tax dollars, for 15 months. He made $177,000 in 15 months. Tax-free. That's a really nice bit of change there. Sign me up, folks. I'll be an informant. Heck, I'll even come up with something creative for you. Now, there was another report just came out the last couple of days. This isn't a report. This is a news piece, I should point out. Oh, okay. It came from Glenn Beck, so it's not even news. But he was telling his followers that he personally believes that 10% of all the world's Muslims are terrorists. That would mean that Glenn Beck believes that there are 150 million terrorists in the world. Okay? Now, 1% of all the Muslims in the world would be 15 million terrorists. That's way more terrorists than we really have. 0.1% would be 1.5 million terrorists. And that's still way more terrorists than there are in the world. So, a 100% of all the Muslims in the world would be 150,000 people. And that is probably about the right number, I figure, for the number of terrorists in the world. But that would be spread out between all the terrorists. And believe it or not, folks, some of the terrorists aren't Muslims. But this is an indication of why Americans back stupid policies like trying to infiltrate, or unsuccessfully, infiltrate a mosque to find dirt on people who are law-abiding American citizens. Just going about their business. Doing their thing, saying their prayers, wanting to be left alone. But no, the FBI, when they can't get the right kind of new information at once, starts to poke and prod at people until they give them the information they want. Well, I guess it's better than the CIA, who just waterboards you. Now, the article I'm going to link to had an interesting closing comment, one which I think is very important to remember in today's world. Here we go. As worshippers milled around outside, They said they support the FBI's role in fighting terrorism, but feel betrayed by the infiltration of their sacred place. The FBI wants to treat the Muslim community as a partner while investigating us behind our backs, said Curdy, the Loyola student. They can't have it both ways. And I don't know if I could sum it up any better than that. Now, I think these members of this mosque have shown us that they're law-abiding citizens. So I think that maybe we shouldn't be sending spies into their temple, because it didn't do any good. It wasted a whole lot of tax money, burned a whole lot of bridges for the FBI, and once again made the United States look like a fool. I know I shouldn't be labeling, but it did make us look foolish. How's that? And I'm really tired of the America looking foolish again and again and again.